So let's get this started. Hello, I am Barendipitous. With me is Toniko, who is our voice actress for Nai in Brawlhalla Underworld. Then we also have, you go by Baby on Discord, but on Twitter you go by Tolsquish, I believe.
Yes.
Tolsquish is one of our artists in Brawlhalla Underworld. What we wanted to do here was we made posts earlier this week about inviting people to ask us questions. We've been trying to get this fan project up, being more noticeable on social media, but a lot of people are still have a lot of questions about like what even is this thing or whatever. Hopefully we'll make things more clear. We have a couple of questions from the Amino. Tolsquish, you want to bring those up?
Imagine though you thought asks. Okay, quick question. Where will the series take place? IG, YouTube, or something? The series will take place on YouTube.
We have a dedicated YouTube account for Brawlhalla Underworld. Even though this is, so as we will explain in a little bit later, this is an audio drama, which mostly to listen to, although there will be some art associated with it. The reason why it's on YouTube is, first of all, it's very easy for people to access. And second of all, we are using a lot of YouTube's extensive audio library for music and sound effects. That music and sound is specifically for YouTube videos. It's free. It's generally free to use for YouTube, but whether you can use it in other mediums is kind of up in the air. So to stay safe, I decided we were going to have this in YouTube. On our social media, we will share the link to that channel when we have...
Waffle Dips has two questions, actually. First one is, are you still accepting voice auditions, or anything like that?
Yeah.
I believe we have another round coming out.
There is another round of auditions that will happen in the future. I do not have a date for that because we are not close enough to where those characters show up in the series. But yeah, we still have a number of characters that have yet to be cast. So we want every single legend to be cast, to have a voice actor or voice actress. The people we do not have voices for yet include, we don't yet have Asuri, Nash, Jiro, Kaya, Koji, Sir Roland, Scarlet, Taros, Thatch, Olgrim, Vector, Wushang, Zariel, and we're wrapping up Jala auditions today, I believe. Most of them have been claimed already, but there are still some that... Jae-yun. We don't have Jae-yun yet either.
And the second question is, will this have any art/animation that goes along with the story? Yes, it will. It will have scenes and there are character concepts that will be posted soon.
Not animation. I'm afraid. Animation would be cool, but that would take a lot more work. Make this project a lot longer than it already is. So instead, if you think of like someone on TV reading a picture book or something, and they kind of like pan across the image or something, we're using still images, probably 3 or 4 per episode. But there will be plenty of art and concepts that we would like to share via social media, and we're excited about that.
All the artists are working very hard, and I hope it'll be enough for what we're going for.
I'm working with our art lead, Davon, to figure out, as we're transitioning into making the scenes themselves instead of just concepts. That will be the extent of the visual part of this project. And then for Twitter, submitted questions left would be on Twitter. So anyway, on Twitter, the first question is from Anti-Scarlet Pope himself. Will the Horde mode enemies have a part of this? I mean, they live in the Underworld, Brawlhalla Underworld. He's referring to the bat-like enemies that you fight in Horde mode in Brawlhalla. For some reason, if you're not familiar with Anti-Scarlet Pope specifically, not only does he hate Scarlet, but he seems to like the Horde mode enemies for some reason. He calls them his children, which for some reason he calls me father, which makes those my grandchildren in that logic. I don't know how I feel about that. There are no plans to include the Horde mode enemies in Brawlhalla Underworld. I can't say it won't happen, but I don't have any plans for that. Even though it does say Underworld, the Underworld refers more to the fact that, like, I figured it was a good term for the Mafia in Valhalla, essentially. So someone named Reason asked Mordex and Diana. I know other people in the project were like, what do you mean by this? And Reason clarified by saying, like, would they have interactions based on lore? Should have mentioned that, huh? They will. I'm using lore a lot lore is informing a lot of how people interact with each other and what their relationships are. Not entirely, though. This is like an alternative universe. In Brawlhalla Underworld, if and when Diana sees Mordex, there will be fighting words involved. So yeah, they're not going to be friends at all. I imagine the voice actress for Diana would not want that either. The next question is from Aster Ur Creeper. I've Aster, Best Girl and Best Boy. This is a matter of opinion from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Davon answered saying Nye and Sentinel, obviously.
That's true.
Someone else said, Sebastian said Mordex and Mordex. So this is probably not so much a question about Brawlhalla Underworld, although there are a couple of like little ships or pairings or interactions that I've kind of put into the script just for fun. Sentinel and Nye is one of them, Mirage and Orion, for example, and other things like that. But you know what? Why don't I ask the two of you, best boy and best girl, from what you know.
Do you want to go ahead?
I voice Nye, so I am quite fond of Nye and Sentinel. Just their interactions. Wow.
I agree with you on Nye because she's a very well-rounded and well-written character, but I'm a bit biased on the boy part. I'm gonna have to go with Cross.
I know we're not very far into like the recording things, but like you guys have read the scripts that I've made available, and so you know that there's a few fun things for a lot of the characters. So the Taros, Scientists of Crete, a parody account of Taros, asked, will it be based on lore or is it mostly based on own imagination? So like I said before, lore is greatly informing the building of this world. Pretty much what this is, it's you take the Brawlhalla lore and you combine it with Akiko-sama's initial thoughts about what they would be like in a mafia setting. I guess what I think would happen in a mafia setting. There's a fair amount of like my and other people's imaginations, but lore is informing a lot of it, I think. For example, Orion is still going to be quite the mystery. Mirage, even in like the first couple of episodes, refers to her past life before Valhalla and things like that. We have a few questions about what the heck Brawlhalla Underworld even is. Maybe we should have opened with that. What do either of you guys say when asked that question? What even is Brawlhalla Underworld?
Well, it's like an audio drama of this alternate universe of Brawlhalla called the Underworld, and there will be pictures and stuff for you to look at, right? It'll be a treat for your ears.
Anything to add, Toll Squish?
No, she said it better than I ever could have.
Every time there's a round of auditions, I have like the first page of the audition notes explains the project essentially. Audio drama project that presents a reimagining of the Brawlhalla universe in a mafia/film noir style setting. It came about because the artist Akiko-sama, I believe her @ is Akiko__02. Back in March, she drew just a couple of pieces, just like conceptualizing several of the Brawlhalla legends as mafia bosses. And I just thought, dude, that'd be so cool. You could make such a cool story out of it. And then like Akiko invited me and Cyan Petra and Hyena to, think of like how the characters would fit in and like some world building and stuff. But then Akiko decided to take a break from Brawlhalla art, and I'm like, hey, Akiko, can I like use this concept or whatever? And she's like, yeah, sure, do what you want. So that's how this came about. And people have been asking if it's an animation. Again, it is not an animation. It is primarily an audio drama series. If you imagine like the old radio drama kinds of things from like the 30s and 40s, I think. But yeah, there's been a resurgence in podcast and radio dramas recently in the past couple of decades, and I think it's a really cool medium to explore. So that's what we're doing. But again, there will be a lot of fantastic art from a lot of fantastic artists within the community. And it is very much a fan project, even though it has the Brawlhalla name on it. That's just for recognition of that we're using Brawlhalla characters. But it is a fan project. No one's getting paid whatsoever, anything for this. We're not going to run ads. We're not going to run ads on it anyway, involving money. And I don't have plans to run ads on it. I don't see the point. I'm happy to talk about it with people, but obviously it'd be nice to earn money, but that also wouldn't be fair to all the voice actors, all the artists, we have a composer in our midst. We have another writer in our midst. The next question from Cambrica. Will Thatch be there? Yes, all 50 Brawlhalla legends will have a part in this. I can't promise that all 50 will have major parts because you can't really have a good cohesive story with main roles. There will be some legends that we will focus on more than others, but everyone will have a role to play in this project. So, for example, I think Mirage and Orion and obviously people like Cross and Vrax and mob bosses will have bigger roles than others, but everyone will have something to. We also law enforcement officers, so like Thor, Bodvar. I'm a Val main. Asked, will Val and Bryn be in this? Yes, Val is one of the mob bosses, and Bryn is one of the higher ups in the law enforcement. So
cannot promise it will be romantically though.
We can't promise it. I'm happy to take community input and stuff like that. I even have an internal document or like a list of fanships just so I can be aware of what popular fanships are out there. The last question I see on here is WTF is this, which we've already gone over.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yeah, so at this point, Toll Squish and Toniko, you are both you're more than welcome to ask me any questions you have for me.
Yes. So if a new legend is introduced in like the coming months, will that character be in Brawlhalla Underworld?
I plan on it, yes. I wish I had a better idea of a release schedule right now, but I'm starting to get a better idea of it. I'm still trying to figure out the art aspect of it. This project might go on long enough for another Brawlhalla Legend to be released.
That leads into my question. Do we have a set upload date or a uploading schedule at all?
I don't have one right now. The reason for that is this. I have a good idea of how long it takes for me to make an episode. I'm the one who does the sound editing in Audacity. I know I can probably finish a single episode if I work several hours over a weekend or something. However, the main thing right now I'm trying to figure out with our art lead, Davon, is the art process. We've been getting a lot of wonderful art concepts from the artists. We don't have any scenes yet. I don't know how long it will take because we don't want the artist to feel rushed or anything. I could possibly reasonably say that episodes could be released every other week. If we're able to get our process more streamlined, we could possibly post every week as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to get going on posting this because I want people to experience this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess that's all the questions that we have. For those of you watching or listening to this video, figure out what Brawlhalla Underworld is all about. Now hopefully you have a much better idea. You're always welcome to reach out to us on our social media pages. We'll hope to share more in the near future. Thank you all for listening, and until next time, all the best.